PWB Podcast Hotline.
Okay, yeah, and a few weeks ago you served as a colour commentator for the EliteXC Saturday night fight on CBS. How did you enjoy being behind the broadcast table?
I liked it. Definitely something different for me at that level. That's like the serious pros. But I really liked it. I had a good experience. I certainly learned a lot by way of, how to be a professional commentator and how to prepare and stuff. So overall, I think it was a huge success, and I really enjoyed the experience.
Okay, and that's something you'd like to pursue after your fighting career is finished? Or?
I think so. I got a pretty good natural knack for it. I definitely want to do it. Plus, I don't get beat up, so it's like I could do that for a while.
That's cool. So what did you actually think of the show that EliteXC put on last Saturday night?
Well, I thought all in all, for the audience that it was for, and for what it was, being the show that it was, on the first time on network and stuff, I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was a good, fair example of what mixed martial arts is about.
Okay, and they did great ratings, obviously, as well. That was higher than they expected.
Yeah, had fantastic ratings, and it was the right demographic and market, and it was pretty much a home run.
And what were your thoughts about the end of the Kimbo fight? Do you think the referee stopped it early, or did you think Thompson was done?
Well, I think Thompson was done, but I also think that they stopped it early. James doesn't have an iron chin, and it takes a long time to recover, but he can recover, and he can take a massive blow and keep fighting. Everybody kind of knows that about him. So, I don't know. I think it was a 50-50 call.
Yeah, and Frank, you also got to witness that amazing battle between Scott Smith and Robbie Lawler. What did you think about the end of that fight? It was pretty controversial.
Yeah, it was controversial. But, when I looked at it in retrospect, it was just, Scott, it was a goofy call that, probably shouldn't have been called. But, when you're fighting, you never, ever, ever tell the doctor that you can't defend yourself. That's like, MMA for dummies there. You just can't do that because they're going to stop it immediately. What he should have said was, I'm fine, and, check my eye in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Now, are you excited to see that rematch on July 26th? That's going to be headlining the next CBS show.
Yeah, I think it's great because they're really truly developed mixed martial artists. And Kimbo's got a great hype to him, but he's not a great fighter yet.
Yeah, and actually that's been a lot of the criticism of that EliteXC show was that, Kimbo is not a great example of MMA, and all these people who are, quote, MMA purists were upset about that. What do you think about all the criticism?
I understand both sides of it, but I think the critics are short-sighted because if they truly were, dedicated fanatics, they would only care about the growth of the sport. And he's the guy, whether you like him or not, he's the guy who has the opportunity. And whether you like it or not, he's a mixed martial artist professionally. I see both sides. And in the beginning, I felt differently about it. I was like, well, gosh, he should be one of these guys who, has put in their dues and who's a real, MMA guy. But when I looked at it in hindsight, whatever makes the sport grow, whatever gives these guys the most amount of opportunity is what is best for the sport. That's what we should all embrace.